The legit no. Hey you guys. Hey everyone, Mary Muse here. I hope you're doing. I'm feeling really nervous right now. I don't know. Normally I get nervous when I do videos, and then I usually just go with the flow. I actually do have a list of things that I'm going to be following, hopefully loosely for you. But I'm just being a little nervous. So if you could send me some like good vibes in the future, I'm already feeling them, guys. Already. Thank you. I'll keep them coming, but thank you. Okay, so it's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. It's really nice. Today is Tuesday, July 19th of 2018. And if I remember correctly, as I peered down at my notes, on May 26th, 2018, I promised you I was gonna do a 1 month update and a 1 week update and, you know, communication skills. This isn't a segue into my relationships, I don't know what is. But yeah, so it's been, May, June, yeah, it's been almost 2 months now since I last posted, and I just watched that video. Hold on a second. Alexa, stop. And it's gonna be all really cool and jazzy and high tech and have some music playing in the background. And I know you can do that, like adding things on, but yeah, that was just simpler, and she's distracting me right now. Anyway, yeah, so, and I realized how much time had flown by. What is that? May, June, July. We're coming up on 2 months now since my first week recap was due. However, I was also under the impression, from my enthusiasm as seen last time, that I was going to be within the chair within, I think I did that on a Saturday, no, Thursday, Friday. It was like, I was expecting to be having treatment in 3 days. Like, I was guaranteed it on the dot, even earlier, you know? And I was super naively optimistic that that was actually going to happen. And so it wasn't for another, shoot, when was it? It wasn't until, I can look on the date on the back of this paper, June 5th. So I went, that was on May 26th, January, March, April, May, June. Okay, so I went 10 days. So I had to go 2 weeks, essentially, without getting any treatment. And I was just really, really disheartened. And so I didn't want to just post bad news bears for you guys, because I want this to be emotionally, like, I want you to be able to empathize with me. I want to be able to empathize with you. And I want this to be a more fact-based, not storyline-based, not my personal history, but what I've experienced and what you could be able to take away from it to make decisions in your own life, or just common knowledge. Pull out my nerd card right here, like just because it's interesting. Okay, so I didn't start until June 5th. And what I'm looking at here, and I'll put this, I know how to now, I can put this up on the video, and I will, you'll be able to actually look at what I'm telling you about. If you recall back to the previous video when I talked about how during my assessment I said some nebulous, like, depression or anxiety, like, inventory checklist, but I couldn't recall which one it was. It was actually 5 tests that I had taken. I mean, they're small. They're 10 to 25 questionnaires. So I mean, like, we have to do this every single week. I like this though, because it keeps it more numerical for me. It's not based off of I'm feeling better. Well, that's subjective. It's actually based off of a numerical scale, and they track that, and that's how they record your progression through their treatment. oh, I should have said, by the way, this is a segment on TMS, but you should know that from the title. But just in case you stumbled upon it and see this wacko California girl. Anyway, I have the names of those tests now, so I can actually tell you guys. It's the Burns Anxiety Test, the Burns Depression Test, the PHQ-9, the General Anxiety Disorder 7, and then I forget, or I couldn't look up the name, but it's capital MAD dash capital RS. And again, let me get to, I'll get to the scores and like the beautiful evidence and the good happy news I have to share with you guys. See, now that the nervousness is gone after a couple edits, the nervousness is gone and I'm actually feeling pretty good now. Okay, so I also mentioned last time that there were 3 types of TMS. I got a little bit, I didn't exaggerate, I honestly thought there were 3 types of TMS. I misinterpreted what I was told. I goofed. And there are 2 types of TMS. There's technically a 3rd one, but that's like an actual, like, they put diodes inside of your brain. Like that's the most intrusive, but it's still considered in the TMS family. But the 2 that are offered at this facility and that I've looked up and are the only 2 their brands. It's the one that I did last time. That was the NeuroStar, and that's technically, I got prepared. That's technically NeuroStar. And that is technically, I don't write lower R's very frequently, so I don't know how to do them very well. I write everything in capitalized. But NeuroStar does little r TMS, whereas the one, at least if I got that ink on me, it would have matched my lips. The one I'm doing right now is Brains Way, and that is actually signified by a little lowercase d TMS. This stands for repetitive or repetitious or repeat in some conjugation of the English language. And this one is D for deep. It's pretty short and simple. What can I tell you guys about these? Okay, I'm trying to find a way to prop this up on my knee. Okay, this is the one I had last time. In my notes, there will be links to all of the chronicle. I think this is 7 videos now. And any videos that I tell you about that I have to show you, because I brought my camera in because they wanted publicity. They were cool. And I didn't have to sneak it in this time. And they there are videos of me actually like going through the treatment and when the treatment went bad, just to give you a little cliffhanger. And what happens, but I don't want to flood this and make this like an hour-long video, which is already going to be. I'm going to make that a separate video and just have it like dog tagged, I guess. I'll figure something out. But so anyway, I had this one, I started this procedure on May 8th of 2017, so a year and 3 months ago. And this was, here, I'll actually, 2017 and 2018. Okay, so this one, it was for 6 weeks, and it was 5 times a week, and then it was 4 weeks titrated. Okay, so it was like 4 weeks of, okay, now we're going down into 4, now we're going down to 3, now we're going down to 2. And these were 40 freaking 3-minute sessions. And you're very much awake and alert. Whereas here now in 2018, it was, this is faster acting. This one treats you faster. Oh, that's more stuff I need to write down. Okay, this one is, it is 4 weeks at five times a week. And then it's going to be 4 weeks of, I'll just put an arrow down, that makes more sense, of titration. But this one is only 20 minutes, which is really freaking awesome, because every minute you're under that thing, you're very much aware of it. NeuroStar TMS goes in, I'll do like a gruesome arrow. Okay, it goes into your brain up to, so what is that, 1.7 centimeters. Yeah, you guys can hear me talk. And this one goes into your brain. They have a goal of getting it up to at least or equal to 4 centimeters into your cranium. This one, NeuroStar TMS, it is pretty much, both of them look like dentist chairs, okay? But instead of writing all this stuff down, the NeuroStar TMS is like, they just put this machine, and what I'm going to refer to as the coil is the magnetic coil that if, that's what they use to create magnetic impulses through your skull into the central cortex of your brain, and that's what they use to pump up your weak nerves. Essentially, for whatever reason, people who get TMS have to have major depressive disorder. When they have major depressive disorder, that is not something you get over. It's a chronic disease. So they need to have like medicine doesn't really help with that a lot of the time. In fact, for MDD patients, it's, oh, I wrote this note down. They, the 63.2% of major depressive disorder patients fail their first medication round. 33 do not respond at all to medication. I'm one of those lucky girls. What's the difference from my just personal experience-wise between these two types of TMS? And again, you can look back at my videos to see how they anatomically work and how they adjust the physiology of your brain. If you have major depressive disorder, that's the criteria for being able to have this prescription, is to have an MDD diagnosis. It currently has been noted to, but it hasn't been cleared by the FDA yet, but it has been known to also treat autism, Alzheimer's, bipolar disorder, which I also have, which it does help. Chronic pain, I have fibromyalgia, that helps. Parkinson's, the negative symptoms of schizophrenia, smoking cessation, big time. As much as it affected my depression and lifted that up, the only thing that's been able to lift it up, it helped me cut out the smoking, lickety-split, no problem. 10-year smoker. I know you can hear my voice when I cackle sometimes. But anyway, smoking cessation, PTSD, I can vouch for that. My anxiety goes down since the last series and this series. Every time I start, it goes down. Multiple sclerosis, OCD, yes, that does help. And stroke rehabilitation, but we still have to work with getting the mental health community together to get things approved that, if they are appropriate, getting options for people here. We're in the greatest supposed country in the world. Let's not talk about politics. Anyway, what's the practical difference between these two? Well, the fact that this is only 20 minutes is fantabulous. I loved it. They say with the NeuroStar that it takes until like the third or the fourth week for it to kick in, and that it definitely did. It was really, really hard to keep going, and I understand that when what I have to bitch and bemoan about, like either one of these, I bless them both. They saved my life. But whatever I have to complain about them, you might want to take that with the grain of salt that I have a pretty high tolerance for pain and for not feeling well. And so I know of many people, and I know of many people personally who've had TMS who have gone through it and just they had to bail out because they couldn't handle it. So just take what I say with a grain of salt. That I can put up with a little bit more than the average bear, I guess. But anyway, so this one took 4 weeks. For me, it was like 3.5, like on the dot. It was really beautiful, and it was the same sensation for both circumstances, different time intervals throughout the process, but on both of them, I knew I was starting to come out of the darkness when I could see the flowers again. When I just wanted to take a minute, and I wanted to come back to this. I went on a little rant, and I said, let's not go on down that storybook road. I wanted to emphasize to you guys about how wonderful it feels. Like, I really don't want to dismiss that. Let me put this down. When I was at the first treatment, the therapist there, because it takes a lot longer with the NeuroStar TMS. It takes almost 4 weeks before you start feeling results. With the deep TMS by Brainsway, that takes only 2 weeks to start feeling the effects. So it's a lot easier to get through it. I'll get to that problem I was mentioning in just 1 second. But for either one of them, the feeling was still the same. I knew, because my mom and I, when I started getting my stomach back, because I suffered from really nausea bad enough that I needed medication for it. It was pretty bad, and migraines, both of them migraines. It was just at different time intervals, to be frank and simple with you. And the one that happened with me during this series is why the problem comes in. But it's just so wonderful when my stomach would feel up to it. Mom would be so sweet, and she would take me down to my favorite bagel spot in downtown San Jose, California, and we would get our bagels. And she and I used to live downtown on the same street, both when we were in our mid-20s. And it was just funny. I literally lived in the house next door on South 14th Street. Long story. But anyway, so we would go down and go see our old houses that we used to have, and just walk. They're really cute streets. But when I first started doing that with Mom, I was really just kind of ambivalently doing it just because I wanted the food. I was just putting up with it and going along with it. But when it works, oh my gosh, it's better than sex. It's better than chocolate. It's better than wine. It's just so refreshing to be like, oh look, that jacaranda, Mom, when don't those bloom in spring? And she said, Mary, that's been blooming for 2 months now. And I just didn't see it. Or the bougainvillea growing right outside my window. It wasn't like I couldn't see it. If you pointed it out, I couldn't, but I didn't see the magic anymore. I didn't see the wonder anymore. I lost all of that. Like, we talk about suicide and depression so much as as a suicidal extreme, but just the simple joys of life came back to me, and they flooded. And oh God, I can remember just how wonderful it felt. But anyway, I just really wanted to take a moment and like share like my like radiant, I'm sure, joy with you guys. One thing to note on here that I also brought up is the reason I'm still having breakfasts with mom is because while during this NeuroStar series, I was able to go to work and then go to TMS and then go back to work halfway through this whole like 12-week, 6-week course. With this one, I'm now 2 weeks down. I got 2 weeks left to go, and my mom still has to take me because I am not reliable to drive myself home. Even though it's 20 minutes, the doctor tells me, and this is one area maybe where maybe I'm sensitive. I don't know. The doctor says that all you need to do is take like a brisk walk around the block, and you should just kind of freshen yourself up and yeah, get back in the chair and then get back and drive home. There's no way I'm driving for at least 2 hours after I have a treatment from this thing. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to work. This day is shot. Absolutely shot. So just keep that in mind, because this one you can actually, like, if I needed to, if I wasn't on disability, I could have gone the entire duration from start to finish and still work before and after. This one, no way. No way. I get a GoPro on my head and you guys can come with me. Anyways, there are different seats. This one is more of a dentist chair with, it's called the figure 8 coil, and that's the magnetic coil that they use to pulsate repetitiously magnetic pulses, either 1.7 or up to 4 inches down to your noggin. And it's a figure 8 coil, but it's very restrictive. Well, okay, you're not physically restrained, but you are told not to move, like to the point where you can't even put your phone like up and like, because you're laid back. They don't want your head moving for anything. You are just supposed to sit there and meditate and listen to music. You can, no, you can listen to music if it's, that's another thing. You can't have any metallic jewelry. Well, this is wood, but any metallic jewelry. You can't have any metallic objects on or near the 8 coil. That for, I believe it was like 14 centimeters in circumference. And so, yeah, that was a pain in the ass having to always take out these. Anyway, with this one, I'm crocheting. I'm still good. I'm still crocheting. I play on Facebook if they got decent Wi-Fi. Wow, no, Mary, you're under a big magnet. I wonder what's happening. Oh man, cheers to that. But yeah, those are the major differences. Do I have any other notes on here? Oh, the one thing that is really, really cool is this one will give you just a charming little light chime, just a ding, like, you know, like when someone's cell phone's text message goes off, and it's just that ding. It does that a full 1 second before the impulses start. This one doesn't tell you shit. So you're just sitting there, and this one's faster too. This one is every 26 seconds for 4 seconds. This one is every 20 seconds for 2 seconds, I believe. I don't remember correctly. I know it's more repetitious. This one, how I said it was a figure 8 coil. This one is an H coil, which it's not shaped like an H. That's what I thought too. It stands for H for horseshoe, and so the coil actually goes around your head. Okay, and I'll pull out that nerd card again for just one quick second. I think I'm just pretty much done with that, anyways. When I was doing the NeuroStar, and they have the figure 8 coil on your above your head, when they're doing the testing on you to find where the right spot is, and they're trying to twitch your thumb, obviously the left hemisphere of your brain controls the right side of your body, and the right hemisphere of your brain controls the left hemisphere of your body. So it made sense to me that if you're stimulating this part of my head, that this thumb's gonna twitch, not this one, and that was true. And so when I'm going through all of this, when they're doing the twitching, it was the same thing, but then I started having twitching outside of the original assessment period. You're not supposed to twitch. You're not supposed to twitch. And I'll get into that. But it was, I felt it on my right hand side. It's a helmet. Instead of just having a little paddle kind of just resting, like I believe it's 1 centimeter above your head. This is an actual full-on, you put like a swimmer's cap on all over your head, and it's marked so they know how to adjust the coil. But it's essentially a huge helmet that you bring down over your dome, and it's connected to this guard, like this shaft, and then it goes behind you, and it's like a huge like Xerox copy machine behind you. But it's hot summer weather right now in California. It has, because it has a cooling vent on it, it shoots out cool air onto your back as an AC, and so you're feeling nice and comfy as you're getting your brain zapped. You're feeling nice and comfy. But I was going to say something that I was really excited about. Okay, yeah, so I was wondering, like, I felt like pain over here, even though I know they're trying to stimulate this part of my brain, deep in this side. I felt like physical sensation, like the tapping I mentioned earlier in other videos. It feels like a woodpecker, and it sounds like a woodpecker tapping on your head. But this time I feel it and I hear it on this side, and I take that back. I don't know where I hear it. I hear it, I think in both, but I feel it on this side, and when my arms started twitching, yeah, that's the whole problem. I promise this is all one lump thing I'm going to tell you about in a second. Nope, change that. We're not going to have this be an hour episode. So I just wanted to get to the point. It is very important to continue to take your medication. Wasn't my fault. It was a communication error. A week and a half into this current treatment, one of my prescriptions ran out because my physician forgot to update that I'm taking a more quantity per day, and so he never adjusted the prescription, and I never thought to call an update to verify my automatic refill had been changed, and so I went 8 days without 2,400 milligrams of a particular medication that I need, both for physical and psychiatric reasons. And during that period of time, I ended up, you're not supposed to twitch when you're doing the treatment, the session. You're supposed to just do nothing, just sit there and just feel it. And I have video that I'll post in that other video blog of my actual hand seizing, of my face seizing. It was so bad it got to the point where I ended up stringing one of my deltoids from, you can't see because of it, but my arm was going like this, but like down here on the side, and I was having to push it against the chair, pardon me. So that was not pleasant, but once I started getting my medication again, it started working just fine. What else do I have to say? I don't want to keep you guys here too long. Okay, yeah, so I got that therapist. Her name is Amy, after all, and she's become my life coach, and she's actually talking to me about possibly I may not be borderline after all. I may, because the way that she worded it was, well, Mary, which came first in your life? The characteristics of BPD or the trauma in your life? And I said, the trauma. And she said that she has a theory that patients who have trauma develop conditions like borderline, perhaps, and that it's just, I'm bipolar up and down on any given Sunday. I'm bipolar too, but that I may not be borderline, but that I just have a lot of the characteristics of borderline because of the trauma that I went through. So that's just really, I mean, that's neither good nor bad to me. It's more information for me to work with, and for me to best be able to change my life and get it going in the right direction, you know? So that's really cool. I have a life coach now. She's teaching me, she's bipolar too, and she's ADHD like me. And so she is really cool, giving me sort of like hidden tricks, like up the sleeve of how to be bipolar and ADHD and function in society. So it's I'm finding it really helpful and really useful. This transformation of me blossoming hasn't been just from the TMS. It's also from the medication I've been taking, the development books that I've been reading, and having a life coach and a mentor and a supportive family and you guys out there. Holy smokes. If I hadn't gotten so many beautiful messages from so many wonderful people, I wouldn't have made it. I waited a month and a half to get insurance for this. So this video is dedicated to all of you guys, for your comments, for your messages, for caring for me. Not just as some person on like YouTube or Facebook, but as an actual individual, and that is not that doesn't go unnoticed, doesn't go unappreciated. Okay, what else? Oh, I got my genetics test, which is really freaking cool. Yay! Just to like, well, here, I'll show this to you guys. Well, I'll cover up my information right there. But this is just what it shows you, and this is a 16-page pamphlet that has all of the medications I can take, the medications that may work with me, and the medications that will not work with me, and it has the reasons why, like why my genes won't metabolize them well, and it has that for antidepressants, anxiolytics and hypnotics, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, my patient genotypes and phenotypes, gene-drug interactions, opioids. My brother, who died of chronic heroin use, we found out through my genetics. Danny is just my blood brother, but so we're not identical or even fraternal twins, but we do share similar genetics. And one thing that came up in my genetics was that I require more opioids to have the same efficacy that the average bear would need. So I need more drugs, but I also then incur that much more damage, like proportionately. And so if I only have a little bit of this issue, because it's not, they don't work at all, but it's just like maybe they only work 75%. If my brother's was 25% and he was in pain from his accident, that's how he got hooked. I mean, my body is predisposed to need higher amounts. I'm getting on a rampage. I'm sorry. It just, he has been another, that was the next thing on my list to talk about. We had our celebration of life for Danny 2 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry, 19 days ago. We had it on the 30th of June. And it was the most beautiful, wonderful time. I've never been to a funeral before. I've never had anyone close to me die before. No one. This is my first experience with death at 34. I'm blessed for that, but my brother was my best friend, and it was just so hard to lose him because he filled so many roles in my life. And it was just such a beautiful blessing to, like, he had a friend that flew in all the way in from Philadelphia to California. That's a several-hour flight to come in and pay his respects, and I got to see all of his boys, and everyone kept coming up to me and saying how happy we were, because we waited 3 months after his death to be able to have this celebration, and TMS worked out just perfectly, just in time, so that I had started seeing the flowers and the colors again about 4 days beforehand. Like, the universe conspired for me, and I'm probably just glowing right now. You can feel it. I just dropped my earring. I'll take the other one out then. It was here. Well, I don't have pictures of that. Give me 1 second. You're gonna see me in my chonies, so pardon me. Okay, so this is my brother right here, and when we had our private funeral, we had him buried. This is a book. We had a photographer come to the burial. It's on our property. And she came and she took pictures of us. And that I was really, really struggling with. But I was doing TMS then, and it made it bearable. And then, okay, just to show you, this is like, it was a casual attire. We told people to just come and what they would wear to their 4th of July party if they were going to one the next weekend. What else? See, just guys come nice, but come dressed casual. And it was just we had memory cards and stuff. It was a really, really fun time, and my family and I were able to really appreciate it. It was just a blessing. It was really incredible. Yeah. So, what else is going on in my life? I'm still crocheting. I could show you pieces. I can show you this one piece that you might really like. Come with me. I'm doing, this is a Medusa beanie that I'm making. Can you see it? Maybe from, over here. See, it's like covered in snakes, but, and I'm doing beads. I'm working with polymer clay. Like this necklace right here, it looks like it's made out of wood, right? It's actually polymer clay, but I made it look like wood. And the white has my brother's ashes in it, and I made that myself. So, and I'm gonna be trying to lose 13 pounds, and so I'm probably gonna be doing a segment shortly on eating disorders, because on top of knowing about TMS and ECT and all of that jazz, I am pretty well versed in the area of anorexia and of just knowledge on eating disorders and body positivity in general. I have a really great poetic prose, if you want to check out my channel. It's called Grateful Body, I think it's called, and I have some poetry pieces in there. But anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know I'm doing really well. I still have a ways to go. I know that, well, the good news I wanted to tell you that I told you about at the beginning was that because of my scores, I am now considered in remission from my depressive episode. So I'm very ecstatic about that. But it's been kind of, I've been kind of like, my confidence has been really wavery because of the fact that I still have blue moments, but I have to keep reminding myself, girl, Mary, just because you have the doctor take the cast off your leg and the doctor says, look, you're healed, you still need PT, you still need to have a cane, you still need to baby that guy, you still got a long road ahead to being like back to healthy, and I gotta take care of this squishy stuff in here. This is pretty good juice, you know? So it's just, recovery is a long process, and remission is remission, I think, is worse than actually having the disease, because you're on edge and on eggshells about when is it going to happen again. But the thing I want to leave you with, I was really inspired by a recent friend of mine. He's battling cancer, and he has for 10 years or so. And he has the most phenomenal viewpoint of, it's a realistic, optimistic viewpoint of, yeah, I'm doing a new treatment, and no, this may not be the cure. I may go into remission and it may come back, but hopefully when it comes back, that'll be in another 5 years or 2 years or whatever, and they'll have something new to keep me here for. And that is the hope I live on, and that is what I want to leave you with. I hope you guys found this interesting, entertaining, enjoyable, all those E words. I find you endearing. You guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch up with you guys when I get done with TMS, just as a real quick check-in, and then probably 6 months, which will be also when seasonal depression hits. So, oh, you'll hear from me about eating disorder stuff, and I got more poetry to post for you guys. What am I? I'm lagging here. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.